So, I love Danny Motta's videos. His videos are the personification of humor. And along with the humor, Danny is also very good at analyzing the media he watches and isn't afraid to admit he might be wrong about things. However, I do have conflicting opinions in regards to Octavia's character, so I'll be acknowledging some of his points against Octavia and throwing in my 2 cents. First, I will be talking about the things I agree with. First off, I can agree that Octavia's identity outside of the issues she has with her family is underdeveloped. We get glimpses into her interests, but not enough to really flesh out any of those interests. His acknowledgement of Octavia's maturity during her song is something I myself didn't pick up on at first, but totally understand and agree with.
Even though I stand by what I said in that, Octavia needs more personality traits and interests and stuff and needs to become a more well-rounded character before I ever give a shit about her, this is way more maturity than we've ever seen out of her. This is actual character growth. Because before she was always like, you ruined my life, my world is ending, I hate you. Now the emotion is, I'll be okay, I will be changed, I'm disappointed in you. And honestly, in terms of a character arc, that is an impressive amount of subtlety and maturity on behalf of the writers. Because I feel like it's subtle enough that some people might not pick up on the fact that that is character growth. Her going through this tantrum, but still saying, I'll be okay, is weirdly great. That's a tough thing for someone to do, because it's very easy when you're angry to be like, you did this to me, you ruined my life, I'm gonna be fucked up forever, and it's all your fault. I like Octavia finally taking responsibility for her own life. She acknowledges that obviously her parents' actions are transformative or formative, one of those, but obviously her parents' actions are going to affect her. But she's finally, accepting responsibility for, you know what, I'll get through this. I need to make sure I get through this, and I will be able to do that. But I am disappointed in you. That's pretty good. That's some good stuff, guys.
And I do have some problems with her ignoring the fact that Stolas had been trying to contact her for a month, and even went as far as to go to the palace even though he wasn't allowed to, just to see her. I feel she could have taken that into account, but just didn't. Side note, because this has been bothering me since I saw the episode, Stolas called Via on Blitz's phone, but Via's phone showed a picture of Stolas. And at first I thought it was a mistake or an animation error, but upon a closer look it says, calling from shitty boyfriend's phone. So that explains that, I guess. Anyway, back on topic. With Danny's claim that Via's repetitive, while I can agree with that, I don't agree that it's entirely on Octavia. Her reactions and problems are repetitive, but so are Stolas' actions. In episode 2 of season 1, Stolas takes Octavia to Lululand, even though she very clearly doesn't want to be there.
I'd rather kill myself.
It was supposed to be a bonding experience for the both of them.
Have a day, just the 2 of us.
And yet, he brings Blitz, the cause of all of this. Not only does he bring him, Stolas flirts with him in a very inappropriate manner right in front of her the entire time. Here's a compilation to prove my point.
Now, I'm calling the only man who can me.
What?
Who can protect me?
Hello, my big dick Blitzy.
What? Fuck!
Dad!
Language!
Hey, Dad, do we have to...
Okay, hold on right there, sweetie. If you try fucking my little ass in that park, I swear to
You are so cute when you are serious. You know, it's quite thrilling to see you on the job, Blitzy.
save it, bitch. I'm working.
You both need to get a room.
My, what good aim you have, Blitzy.
Ugh, I can't do this anymore!
Octavia!
Octavia runs off, justifiably so, and she expresses her fears of Stolas abandoning her to be with Blitz.
Are you gonna run off with him? And leave me behind? go away where I can't find you?
And Stolas reassures her that that will never happen, and that he would never do that to her. And at the end of the episode, they seem to have reconnected. But then we get to episode 2 of season 2. Octavia is excited to see Azathoth, a super magical meteor shower that only occurs every 1,000 years that Stolas promised to see with her. However, he completely forgets about it. All his attention is on arguing with Stella. He completely ignores Octavia in favor of throwing insults at her, causing Octavia to once again feel as if her father doesn't care about her. And Octavia expresses these feelings to Luna.
Why does he hate her more than he loves me?
Luna tells her how dads may make mistakes a lot, but it doesn't necessarily mean they don't care. Luna actually does convince Via to forgive her dad, and when they reunite, Stolas apologizes for forgetting about his promise to Via, and Octavia forgives him. But then Mastermind happens, and it is literally the one thing she feared, the one thing Stolas promised he'd never do. Leave her for Blitz. That is what is happening. Stolas makes it very clear that he is aware that he's throwing his life away for Blitz.
I would rather be dead than live life without you by my side. As the stars have shined, I'll give my life to clean my slate.
Aren't you going to, execute me?
He was fully prepared to die for Blitz without so much as saying goodbye to his daughter. He left her. He was going to leave her forever for Blitz.
I didn't leave you. I would never. It wasn't my choice.
It was your choice. You chose him.
She once again feels as though Stolas doesn't care, that he loves his fuck buddy more than his own child. And Stolas again tries to reassure her that he does care, but this time she doesn't give him another chance. So yeah, it's repetitive, but it's repetitive on both their parts. Octavia feels as though her dad doesn't care for her. Stolas reassures her that he does. Octavia gives him another chance. Then again, Octavia feels as though her dad doesn't care about her. Stolas reassures her that he does. Octavia gives him another chance. Then once more, Octavia feels as though her dad doesn't care about her. Stolas reassures her that he does. But this time, she doesn't give him another chance. She finally broke away from that repetition. She kept having that hope of a good relationship with her dad built up and knocked down. She probably fears that if she gives Stolas another chance, then that hope will once again build up and be knocked down.
You lied to me once and you'll do it again.
She kept giving him chances, forgiving his mistakes, but he never learns.
You would be there to see yourself forgiven by me. If you thought that I'd take it, you were wrong.
Stolas does try to call her to explain the situation, but he can't. And this is important. All of the other times, Stolas' reassurance that he cares for Octavia was pretty quick. Via's upset and Dad is there to comfort her soon after. But not this time. This leaves Via time to collect her thoughts on the situation without hearing her dad's response or his own opinions. All she has is her own thoughts. And in her thoughts, her dad abandoned her.
But she's also had and gotten over these feelings 2 times already. She's just so repetitive.
Because Stolas hasn't really done anything to really prove Octavia's fears have no weight to them. His actions speak louder than his words. Octavia can only grow and move past this if Stolas makes the effort to change, but he didn't. So Octavia had enough and stopped trying. Moving on to another point.
Shit. Also, no shit, he doesn't love your mom. No shit.
Octavia might be aware her parents hate each other, but she does not know the full extent of it. She most likely knew her parents were kind of distant, but she was pretty unaware of how much they actually hated each other. Case and point?
I thought you loved it here.
when I was a kid and my parents didn't hate each other.
That line implies that the full extent of her parents' hatred for each other was kind of hidden from her. The pictures in her song further proves this. In her song, which is a sad yet nice sequel to her father's song, You'll Be Okay,
Okay. When I'm gone, you'll be okay.
And when you're gone, I will be okay.
but back on topic. In her song, we see photos on the wall that show her family at least seeming happy. They even put focus on one during her song. Her parents always hated each other, but Stolas himself says he's been trying to make this family work, and that probably included hiding their hate from Octavia, so she could have a somewhat normal childhood. But the cheating made it impossible to hide. As for...
Does that mean you just stayed miserable because of me? Was I some fucking obligation? Is that why you didn't even hesitate?
Octavia, that is so abysmally far from what he was saying.
But it's true, though. Stolas himself said so.
The only reason I have endured your constant insults and cruelty was for that girl to have a normal life.
So does that mean you just stayed miserable because of me? Was I some fucking obligation? Is that why you didn't even hesitate when you got a chance to leave?
And in regards to...
Literally, just have a conversation. This is so explainable.
I agree that they do indeed need to have a conversation, but the thing is, Stolas chose not to. Stolas has had more than enough time to sit Via down and explain things in full, but he never did. She's been kept in the dark. She's only going by what she knows, and it's Stolas' fault that Octavia still doesn't know the whole story. So in my opinion, Octavia is totally justified in her anger, and her repetitive character is a result of Stolas not changing his behavior, thus repeating the issue that Octavia is mad about. Now, are there things in Octavia's writing that need improvement? Abso-flippin'-lutely. But now that she has cut Stolas off and has finally broken off the repetition in her character, we might finally see more of Octavia's character in the next season, and these problems in her writing will finally be improved, hopefully. All in all, I love you, Danny, but please cut my girl Via some slack. Oh, am I kidding? He's never gonna watch this. If you liked this rant and you want to see more stuff like this, then subscribe and hit the notification button. Next video will either be about Danganronpa V3's confusing plot point about Kaede's twin sister, or an analysis on the symbolism between Mitsuba and birds from Toiban Hanako-kun. Really just depends on which one I have the time to record for. But hey, if either of those videos sound interesting, consider staying notified for when I post them. Thank you for watching this video and listening to me ramble. If any of you have any thoughts you'd like to share in the comment section below, be my guest.